All right, take 2 of this Wynn mystery bounty. I just circled this parking garage for about 15 minutes, up and down. All the levels are full. Vegas is packed this weekend. It's a Friday, so I hope poker reflects that this weekend. I'm gonna try my best, if I bust this, to play some cash right afterwards. Last night I was a little tired, but tonight I'm gonna try to get in on that Friday night action. All right, let's get after it. Let's go win some pots.
I got here on first break, so this table is a brand new table. It's made up of some late registrants and some big blinds that are pulled from other tables. And the first hand that we get dealt under the gun starts us out with a friendly limp. Hijack limps behind, small blind comes along as well, and I look down at ace king offsuit in the big blind. Very easy raise for me. I make it 2,500 to go. Everyone folds and we take down the first pot of the table. The very next hand, low jack opens to 900, and I look down at king 8 of hearts in the small blind. I peel, and big blind comes along as well. So 3 ways. The flop is jack 9 deuce, 1 heart, 2 diamonds. Check it over to the pre-flop raiser, and he decides to check it back. Turn comes down to ace of hearts. So I have a decision to make here. I think that the pre-flop raiser obviously has a lot of ace X, but so do I, peeling the small blind. You know, with the added bonus of having the hearts. Not too happy with my showdown. I decide to lead this turn. I bet 2,200 and they both fold. So we're 2 for 2. Okay, let's see if we can go 3 for 3. In this one, low jack opens to 900. I'm now on the button and I look down at pocket tens. So I might start to look crazy to these people, but I'm just getting hands. I 3-bet to 2,500, folds back to him, and he goes into the tank for quite a while and then decides to 4-bet. He makes it 10,000. Pretty big sizing for a 4-bet. He's basically leveraging my whole stack. He has similar stack size because he's just started at the same time as I did on break. So we both have around 30,000. I have a little more because I won those first 2 pots. But yeah, when he makes it 10K, it's going to be really hard for me to see a flop because I'm just calling off a third of my stack and having to guess on a lot of flops. So then the question is, do I go all in or fold? And I'm just thinking, I don't know if I want to get in 80 blinds to start the tournament with pocket tens. And I don't know who this guy is. We just started this table. I've never played with him before. So based on those reads, I make a very disciplined fold with tens and just go with my instinct that I'm not beating a lot of his value and I don't know if he's going to be bluffing enough, even against my 3 for 3 crazy, I guess, image. And we move on to the next hand. All right, buckle up for this one. It gets a little funky. In this one, under the gun 1 opens to 1,100. I have ace queen in the low jack and decide to 3-bet. I make it 3,300 to go. The button is a player who I've played with a lot. He's very active, usually very aggro. He just makes the call after a really long think. Then it folds back to under the gun 1. She comes along as well. 3 ways. First 3 cards are queen, 9, 7, rainbow. We're loving this flop so far. Under the gun 1 checks it to me. And I know button plays pretty aggressive. I basically have the idea of just trapping him, but he checks it back. Turn brings a deuce of diamonds. So pretty big brick. And under the gun 1 checks again. She is also pretty aggressive and loose pre-flop. So I expect now with this action to be very confident in my hand being the best hand if it somehow wasn't on the flop. So I want to start building a pot here. So I bet 5,500. Button makes the call. Under the gun 1, she gets a little spicy with it and raises. I wasn't really expecting that. She raises to 14,000. I have a little less than double that behind. So total, I started this street with a little less than 28,000. So it puts me in a dicey spot. I have to basically just go all in or fold. I can't really call this, especially with button behind. Based on my read of this player, I've seen her get frisky with check raises with hands that aren't as strong as her check raise represents. So I decide I'm going with this. It's definitely strong enough. I could even get called by worse from this player. So I jam it all in. Button snap folds and she starts to think it over. She eventually asks me,
Queen, no good?
And yeah, I shake my head that king queen is not good as she mucked. And interesting play, interesting hand. Happy to take it down. So let's keep the premiums coming. The next time I'm in the big blind, I look down at ace queen offsuit. The low jack in this hand raises up to 1100, and I make the call from the big blind. Sometimes I'll 3-bet, sometimes I'll call. I chose to just call this time. The flop comes down queen 9 deuce, 2 hearts. Check it over to the pre-flop raiser, and he continues for a tiny bet of 700. Ace queen, top pair, top kicker. I'm gonna raise this up and try to get some more money in the pot now. So I make it 2,500 to go. He doesn't take too long before making the call. Starting to build a big pot. The turn comes a deuce of spades. Pretty innocuous turn card. I continue trying to get value from worst queen X and any draws that he might have. I bet 5,000 and he makes the call once again. The river is the beautiful queen of spades. So just in case we weren't ahead yet, now we river a full house. The only problem with this card is it's really hard to get value, but I go for it. I had set up this sizing so I could jam all in on the river comfortably. He had about 12K remaining, so that's what I do. I go all in for his remaining 12,000. He doesn't take too long before finally folding. A couple hands later, he couldn't take it anymore and asked me, "Oh, did you have the queen there?" And I told him I did, and he claimed to have aces and to have hated that river. So unlucky for him, but we are on a roll. In this next one, I'm under the gun and make it 1,200 to go with ace 9 of hearts. The same player that I described to you earlier is in the hijack. He's the one that's loose aggressive. I've played with him a lot. If you see him at the table for this first time, you would never guess how aggro this guy is. So it works well for him. But I know his trick, so I'm coming after him. Anyway, he makes it 3,600 in this hand. So he 3-bets in the hijack, folds to me, and I should probably just peel this, but maybe I was feeling myself a little too much and I turned it into a 4-bet bluff. I think that this is good enough to call and I should just call. Yeah, I was just getting a little frisky. I think he started this hand with around 40K, just so you have that in mind. Anyway, I 4-bet to 10K and try to get him off of 3-bet bluffs or to shake him off something slightly better than my hand even. But he makes the call and we're heads up in a 4-bet pot. Comes down king jack 3 with 2 spades and a club. Looking really ragged for me. I don't have a lot of barrel potential on many turns. So in my mind, I waved the white flag and I check it over to him. He checks back after a little bit of a think, and we both see a turn which comes down to 6 of clubs. So the board is all black cards. I have red cards. I think he could be pot controlling with something like queens. He could have ace queen. I still plan on just giving up. I check it over to him. He checks back once again. The river's interesting-ish. It comes down a 9 of spades. So a lot of draws get there, but I don't really think either one of us have too many of them after not betting at all yet. But it does give me a little bit of showdown value versus the, aforementioned ace queen type holding. So I check it over to him and cross my fingers that it's good. He checks back quickly. I have a glimmer of hope. I flip over my hand and claim a pair of 9s, but he has pocket queens. So yeah, really kind of crushed my own momentum, got a little too fancy with it, and yeah, have to go back into rebuild mode. I continue to get hit with the deck and look down at pocket jacks in the hijack. I raise it up to 1,500 and the button and the small blind both come along. So 3 ways we all see a flop of king, queen, 10 rainbow. Pretty interesting one. I have 3rd pair and an open ender, but I don't want to c-bet this and get raised. It hits my opponents a lot and I have a pretty medium strength hand. That's why I decided to check this one, and the button throws out a bet of 2,700. Small blind gets out of the way. I'm gonna call this one. I'm open-ended, like I said. I think I have a good enough hand to make this call. The turn is a 7 of diamonds. Not what we wanted to see. I check it over to him and he throws out another bet of 5,000. I can't really continue, I don't think, so I just make the fold here. If I hit an ace or a 9 on the river, I don't think I'm getting a lot of value from him on a 4-liner. And with 3rd pair, with his continued betting, I don't think I'm ahead of too much. So I lay it down. On to the next one. Blinds are going up. Moving tables. In this one, I'm in the under the gun 1 position. Look down at 7, 6 of clubs, and it's pretty. I'm gonna throw in a raise. So I make it 1,600. The hijack and the cutoff both come along. They are both regulars, and the cutoff is Anthony Zeno, who you might have heard of. He's won everything. Anyway, the 3 of us go to a flop of ace queen for rainbow with 1 club. I'm gonna check these ace high flops a lot. in these positions, so that's what I do here. I check, and both opponents quickly check behind. The turn is a 3 of clubs. Very interesting for us. We turn a flush draw, turn a gutter. After they check back, I'm gonna just go for it. So I fire a pretty large bet. I make it 4,000 on the turn, and we get it through. Both of them fold. Very happy to get that bluff through with 7 high. This new table has been fun, chatty, and giving a lot of action. Under the gun opens to 2,300, and I'm under the gun one with pocket queens. I have around 29,000 in my stack, so like 29 big blinds. I'm gonna 3-bet this one, obviously. I make it 6,500 to go. So hijack goes all in for 18,000. Under the gun gets out of the way, so I make the call, show him the bad news when he flips over his pocket tens. I have pocket queens, and we're in a really good spot to bust this guy out. Thank you. After that, we pick up ace jack in the cutoff and raise it up to 2,200. Big blind comes along. He's got us covered. The flop is 7-4-3 rainbow. Pretty dry board. I'm going to c-bet this a lot, so I go pretty small sizing after he checks to me. I bet 1,800, and he comes along. The turn is a jack of clubs, so we're loving this run out. He checks it to me, and I bet 5,500 this time. He doesn't like that. He makes the fold, and we take down another one, and our stack is trending in the right direction. The dealer gives us more great news as I look down at pocket kings in this next one. Man, I'm really getting hit by the deck today. It's really fun. Poker is fun when you're just getting all the good cards. In this one, under the gun one opens to 2,000. Like I said, I have pocket kings. I'm in the low jack. He only started the hand with around 14K. So I'm obviously going to 3-bet, but I don't want to make it too large because of his stack size. So I make it 5,000 to go. And surprisingly, he just makes the call. I would have thought he would have gone all in or folded, but here we are. The flop comes down, 9-7 deuce rainbow. He checks to me. I bet a third of the pot. I bet 4K, but I probably could go even smaller just exploitably versus the 9K remaining in his stack. I could have gone 3K, but that's really picky. But I made it 4K. He snap folds, and yeah, wonder what he had. So we look down at pocket kings once again. I'm not kidding. This is all before dinner break. We're just running so hot. I open it up to 2,200 under the gun one, and hijack, button, and big blind all come along. Great. So the flop is queen 9-5, 2 spades. Big blind checks. I think I'm going to check this a lot 4 ways. So that's what I do here. I check it. It checks all the way around to the button, and you can kind of see his body language in this footage. You see his hands, they grabbed his stack right away after I checked the flop. As soon as it checks to him, he immediately throws out 10K into a pot of around 12.5, something like that. I don't know. It looks pretty strong to me. Bet huge in a 4-way pot, and it looks like he knew he was going to bet as soon as I checked. Maybe reading a little too much into that, but thought he was pretty strong. Big blind gets out of the way, and I only have 70K to start this hand. So with this 10K bet, I want to try to put as much money in the middle right now against all of his draws and his best queen X. So I am going to elect to raise, but I want to make it a size where it looks like I could potentially fold if he jams all in. We had similar stack sizes. So if he jams all in, I don't want to have made it like 35 or something so that it's obvious that I'm committed. So I ended up on a size of 25,000. I raised it 25K, and it folds back to him, and you can see his hands in the footage. He immediately looks dejected. He does not look nearly as confident. It's like a bittersweet situation. We're happy that he didn't just have a set or something and we're gonna get coolered, but at the same time it looks like he's just gonna fold as soon as he takes this posture. But then he grabs his chip sack again, starts shuffling around, playing with his chips, and I thought he was gonna go all in. But he eventually lays it down, and we do win a sizable pot with kings. Stack is continuing to build. It's going great. Day 1B. Happy to be here. Unfortunately, we do lose a few small pots after that, and we head to dinner break with 65,000. All the big names have come out for this tournament. Like I said, we have Zeno at our table. We also have David Levy, if you know who that is, John Turner, aka Pearl Jammer, and in this hand, I'm up against the one and only Nick Schulman. Very famous commentator. You guys have all heard of him. I have pocket jacks in this one and raise it up to 3K under the gun. Nick is on the button and makes the call. Heads up, the flop is 10-10-5 rainbow. I throw out 4K on this flop and he makes the call. The turn comes the Jack of Hearts. So we turn a boat, can't get cooler by a 10, and we have the board absolutely crushed. All that's going through my head is how to get it all in by the river. So that's why I sized up. I made it 14K into 18, but I think that is a little too crazy because I have the board locked and I think I'm gonna get him to fold a lot with this sizing on the turn. So I think this is a mistake and I lost out on value by making it this big. I could have probably gotten it in with a smaller sizing on the turn. I could even check this turn, to be honest. A 10x holding is gonna bet. If he floated, he'll bet as well. And I'm not probably gonna get 2 streets from pairs 6s through 9s anyway. And honestly, he might have even jammed 9s pre, I'm not sure. So I don't know. I don't know if I like this and I might have messed this one up, but that's what I did in game. I bet 14K, he snap folds and I win a little pot versus the famous guy. All right, in this one, Pearl Jammers under the gun 1 and raises it up to 4,500. The blinds have gone up to 2K. I'm on the button. I've got 58K to start, so a little less than 30 bigs, and I have 2 queens. I'm looking to get this one in. I 3-bet to 11K, and when it gets back to him, I had kind of gotten distracted by the guy behind me that's talking about how our table is just a who's who of poker.
Jesus, it's like a who's who at this table. That could be one of the toughest tables in the house right here.
And when John jams it all in, I didn't see it for a second. When I turned back around, I obviously snap call, but you can see his hand gestures. Like he thought I had way better than queens. He was a little annoyed I didn't snap call, like I was slow rolling him or something. I don't know. But he has ace king, so it's a flip situation, and here's how the board comes out.
Yeah, that guy could do long hair, sir.
You have me covered?
Ron Jeremy.
So, ace right in the flop. Didn't go our way. All of that work, all that run good came to a crashing halt. And we're out of the tournament. That's all she wrote on another tournament. I feel like I played a lot better today. And honestly, at the end of the day, that's all you can ask for. That's it for this one, you guys. I'm headed home. Maybe we'll make it for day 1C. But tomorrow it is Jesse's birthday, so I'll only play if, if he is gonna play too. We're gonna get there one day. But until then, go look at the tables and whatever you're playing. I'm excited that I keep meeting more of you in person at the casino. It's always a blast. Thank you so much for watching and following along. Till then, good luck. Bye guys. See ya.